Welcome to the OTC podcast, a show where I bring a guest to the outdoors and we bring the outdoors to you. I'm your host, Nico Prada, and today my guest is somebody who I've known for a long time in comedy. He was once known as the sweatiest hands in comedy, but today we're going hiking in South Florida in what's almost summer, which is pretty much the entire year. So he's gonna be the sweatiest everything comic. Please give it up for my good friend coming to the stage, Mr. Kevin Javier.
What's up, nature pals? How's everyone doing?
Nature pals, I might start calling him that.
Yeah, we're getting wild with Nature Nico today.
I know, right? We got to come up with a catchy little phrase.
Typically, we're eating at Nico's Burritos, but today it's Nature Nico. He's the real nature boy of South Florida.
Listen, I'm working on making what I'm gonna call a backcountry burrito. Okay.
Backcountry burrito? Oh, what's in that? Now you got to tell me.
I don't know because I need to do a couple of tests. I need to do a little bit of trial and error because I'm sure there's going to be some error. I would like to be able to bring the classic everything, which includes cheese and sour cream, but I don't know how that's going to hold up sitting in my backpack for a little bit. So
oh yeah, but
I'm not really
when I
sure
hear
yet.
backcountry burrito, I think of something that like is good, flavorful, but also spicy. Viewers, let us know if you think a backcountry burrito should be spicy or more on the savory side.
Well, I mean, I am kind of going off my classic recipe, which technically is a little bit spicy.
Yeah, because I think I've had that one before, where you do chicken, you do sour cream, right?
Yeah.
Do you put pico de gallo in there?
So the thing is about the burritos, I have my own burrito recipe where I do tortilla, sour cream, chicken, rice, small red beans, shredded Mexican cheese, Cholula, and lime juice. And ironically, I use like lime juice from the bottle that's shaped like a lime, just for some reason. That's how the recipe turned out to be yummiest for me.
Now, is that something you just kind of came up with on the fly or looked up?
It wasn't really on the fly. It was like...
It was just all in front of you, so you made it?
No, it was during a time. I've built up to it now, but I had basically, my appetite was like dog shit for the longest time. And I had to like really build it up and find really flavorful things. And it was around the time that I was living in my own apartment for the first time ever. And so I had a lot of time to really experiment in my own kitchen.
Yeah.
And eventually I found this recipe. But that's how I make my burrito, but when I make it for friends, I don't make them like have to eat it with exactly what I do.
Everyone's got a different palate. You don't want to force anyone.
Yeah, and the only thing that is really kind of like mandatory is the seasoning of the chicken.
Oh yeah, because that's the way you season the meat is going to make the difference, of course.
Exactly. So as long as you're putting some sort of chicken on a tortilla, which is we actually did try that with Freddie Stebbins and my friend Hebe on the Florida Trail, but it was just chicken on tortilla, like plain. So if I can figure out how to do that with the rice and the beans and maybe sour cream and cheese,
we might catch some other stuff.
Yeah, ideally we see some. Ideally we see something on trail, because I saw a couple weeks ago my first pygmy rattlesnake on trail.
Oh boy.
So that was really cool.
Where was that at?
This was in Central Florida. I think it was called Black Bear Creek. I'm not entirely sure, but
one of the spots your girlfriend is? Yeah.
It was around there, and it was super cool. We hiked ended up being like 7 miles. Some of it you see in the intro.
We going ground or we going Cypress Creek?
Your call. What do you want to do? I forgot which one we did last time.
We actually explored quite a bit of both, but remember there was that wet trail that we only kind of went so far in because it started to get...
I feel it. Let's do ground trails. I feel like there'll be less people there.
Yeah, that's true too.
I'm still sort of getting over the part of like continuing to do...
And the fact that there's no like boardwalk there, we could kind of spread out a bit, you know?
There you go. I like that. All right.
We're not so like...
Yeah, that works.
So here's where we went last time.
Yeah.
This down here was the wet trail.
That's the wet trail.
And then there was...
That's just a dead end over there.
Yeah. Then there was that one hidden one, remember, that we took that was marked off, and then it ended, like, into the shrubs.
Why don't we go that way? Because even though the show's called On Trail with Comedians, sometimes we go off trail, and that's kind of one of the things I like to do. So
yeah, no boardwalk here, so it's like we get our own space, you know, because over there it's like someone passes by, we gotta like...
No, I feel that. All right, so we are in Coral Springs today. We're in Coral Springs, right? Like Margate, Coral Springs, yeah. I never know which one it is. And we're going for a fun little hike today. Kevin, at the beginning of my episodes, I always asked my guests on the Disney princess scale, starting from Sleeping Beauty to Pocahontas, how outdoorsy are you?
I'm a tiger lily.
Tiger lily?
Yeah, from Peter Pan. The Indian girl.
Oh, that's good. So that's pretty outdoorsy then.
Yeah, I mean, I like being outdoors. I like the beach. I like nature walks like this. I've actually been to this place a few times, so...
Okay.
When you mentioned, like, a good place to hike, I liked this one because it had a lot of ground to cover.
Gotcha. So did you grow up doing outdoorsy stuff?
Kinda, sorta. I mean, my parents weren't so much outdoorsy people, but my grandfather was a bit. Like, he used to take me fishing a lot as a kid. And,
okay, that's cool.
And one thing about that is, I've seen people use lures and artificial worms and all that other bullshit. Me and my grandfather used to catch fish all the time just by using dough, just flour and a little bit of water. Put that on the end of your hook. Fish
like bread dough?
That. Yeah, fish love it.
Oh, wow, okay. That's cool.
It was like catch and release, and like 5 seconds in, you'd catch. Like, I had hated fishing up until that point, but then my grandfather was like, no, come on, we're coming. I'll show you how to make bait, and you're going to catch fish.
Holy
and after
moly.
that, I'm like, I'm never using another bait again. Granted, I've never used it like in the ocean or anything, but yeah. I don't know, maybe knowing my luck, I'll just throw that off like the Pompano Pier and come back with a sea bass.
A sea bass or something. That's crazy. I don't know a whole lot about fishing. I've done it a little bit. Hang on one second. We going Prairie Overlook or are we going outside? This one looks a little more shady.
Yeah.
You want to do that? Here. All right. So yeah, I don't know a whole lot about fishing. I've done it before, but if you ask me like what fish requires what bait, I'd probably just say like
like that. I don't know too much about. It was when we went fishing. It was just like in like a dirty canal in Coral Springs where we just catch them and throw them right back. You know, I had.
Gotcha.
No, the only time I saw something I knew that we caught was because for a while I used to live in that same apartment complex you know of.
Yeah.
And for a while across the street from it was an abandoned golf course, but it still had some of the lakes on there.
Okay.
And you could actually catch catfish. I saw someone catch a catfish back there, but
oh wow.
Of course, it's like those lakes like that, especially in Florida, you can't eat anything you catch.
I certainly wouldn't.
No, those are like sewer runoffs that they're basically living in.
I've had some shop neighbors look at me because I look, see some people catching something in the canal, dirty canal like you're talking about. And I'm like, you gonna eat that? He's like, yeah, why not? And I was like, I mean, I can't tell you exactly why not, but I just know that every now and like every couple of months they put this weird like greenish bluish liquid in there and then it smells like dead fish. He goes, that's just to kill the algae. That doesn't kill the fish. And I was like,
they also got like mercury in them. It's just.
That's why I was like, I don't know enough about like fish and lake chemistry to tell you.
But I think the rule of thumb has always been is like when it comes to eating fish, if it's a freshwater fish, you want it from like a good freshwater source where it's not like, raised on pollution.
Okay.
In a place like a river or something, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, I would never eat anything that I catch in a lake in Florida. I would just throw it right back, and that's the equivalent of I did it for the selfie,
Yeah, I know. I think I would do that maybe with somebody who really knew what they were doing.
Exactly.
But,
like if it was someone that knew what they were doing. Like I see those videos of people, they go spiny lobster fishing off the coast of Florida, and they like take them out and clean them right there because they'll just break off a barb, stick the barb up the poop chute, get the poop chute out, break out the tail, and then it's like ready to be grilled.
Oh man, that all sounds painful. And I think it's because there was one time I did watch somebody who had just caught some fresh lobsters. I was like, oh shit, that's awesome. And he started breaking off their legs before they were dead.
Yeah, it depends what type of lobster it is.
Oh man, I don't know. I feel like I'd rather just like pop it in the head and then start breaking its bones.
Yeah, they say the quickest way to do it is this. Yeah, you take a knife to the head and just kind of take it down, and then it's over.
Yeah.
Same thing with crabs. But
gotcha. Is that how you got rid of yours?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Knife to the head.
Individual knife to each crab?
No, I boiled my nuts alive.
Ah, okay. That's sweaty.
So now I got boiled peanuts. Hey-oh.
Yeah, sweaty hands and you got sweaty crotch.
Ugh.
From all that boiling.
The grossest food in the world.
Hopefully, the boiled peanuts you think are gross?
I mean, I've tried them once because this girl I was seeing at the time actually liked them, which should have been a red flag in my opinion. When you're getting off the couch for boiled peanuts. But
to each their own.
But yeah, she let me try them, and to me it's like, it just feels like a bean with the taste. It's got the texture of a bean but the taste of a peanut, and I just don't like that. It's like
okay, like they're okay on their own, but you combine them and it's not fantastic, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it kind of reminded me of like, I mean, but one thing is weird though, like I'll take like you ever had that like peanut Thai sauce that they have at like certain Thai restaurants that it has?
I don't think I've tried that one.
Oh, it's good. It's like a sauce you get on like stir fries or.
Oh, wait a minute. Yes. I have.
Yeah, where it's not quite peanut butter, but it's kind of like.
No, I get what you mean. It has like a hint of peanut, but it's I think I know what you mean. I think I know what you're talking about.
It kind of tasted like that, and it made me wonder, like, because I haven't looked at the recipe. I'm like, is that where that shit? That's probably where that shit comes from.
Gotcha.
Boiling peanuts, mashing them up or something.
Perhaps, man. I wouldn't know. I don't know. I don't know fish lake chemistry, and I don't know peanut chemistry. I think I just don't really know chemistry that much.
I know a little bit because my mother is a chemist.
Your mother's a chemist?
Yeah, and she had a number of. I mean, she right now. I think she's just, analyzing like samples like urine, blood, that type of stuff. But she's done a number of different things. Some of the cooler ones was she was doing drug tests for FAU's football team.
Okay.
At one point.
So your mom's a narc is what you're saying.
Well, that was one of her jobs. She was a narc. Another time she worked at a fertilization clinic.
Okay.
And that was pretty cool. In vitro fertilization, like people who can't have kids the natural way, so they basically mix the sperm and eggs in a lab, or if the dude can't produce sperm, that's when they like bring in a donor.
Okay. And
etc. Then they produce the embryo and then insert it into either a surrogate or the woman who's having the child.
That's pretty cool. It's cool that they can help people out like that. Mm-hmm. So your dad is the one, or you said your grandpa took you fishing, your mom's the chemist. But you didn't grow up like climbing trees or?
Oh no, I did. I mean, I went outdoors a lot. Like in the 90s, of course, I was definitely one of those kids who was riding my bike all the time.
Yeah.
We used to actually, it'd be someone, kid that was a part of our little group. It's like, hey, your dad has a shovel in your garage, go get it. And then we build dirt ramps in this park.
That's so funny that you guys built dirt. You grew up building dirt ramps. I grew up building wood ramps, and that was actually my intro to woodworking. But I guess, like, I don't know, just let your kids go outside and have some fucking fun, because they'll start like, developing their minds in a way that makes them productive, Yeah,
and we also just didn't have as many options when it came to staying home. It's like, all right, if I'm gonna stay home, it was like, all right, I can watch my favorite VHS tape, I can play with my toys, play a video game, and that's it,
Yeah, these days, as much as I love video games and I love the technological advancements, I see some of these kids just glued to their iPad at the restaurant, and I'm like, man, fucking little dude could use maybe not getting lost in the forest, but getting lost in himself in the forest a little bit, I think.
For that, and I don't see, I will say that there aren't a lot of, like, I don't see kids playing outside like I used to, Like, as soon as, I remember when I was that age, like, as soon as I got home from school, it was like, all right, spend 2 hours on homework. As soon as that was out, I'm leaving the house for 4 hours, and I ain't going back.
Yeah, check that out.
Lizard?
Nope.
Oh, boy. That might be what we saw. I mean...
Oh, that's a beautiful snake. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's fine. That is a beautiful snake.
Yeah, that's pretty. I don't even know what kind it is, but...
Yeah, it could be a younger version of that black one in there.
Maybe, yeah. We could always go back to the visitor center and like compare like what we see on the poster, and with what we saw here. But anyway, yeah, to get back to you, you do see it in certain places, and I guess I just don't want to be the guy who's like,
oh, here's the off trail that we
here's
took
the
last
off trail.
time, remember?
You want to do it?
Yeah, let's see if
Cool.
maybe they cleared out more of it.
All right. Well, there's already a huge spider web, a bunch of them, so sorry, y'all. I just don't want to turn into cotton candy today.
Spider, but gentrification. We're relocating you.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know if this is the same path as before.
Well, all right.
I don't see any of those pink ribbons.
That way. Let's see if we find any other.
Yeah, I guess so. Watch out for ivy.
Or
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like in certain places you do see kids playing outside, and
maybe it's just we live in a too suburban area, you know.
Perhaps, yeah, because every now and then you'll just go and like, it's like you can see 15 kids playing outside, but then you see one of them on their iPad at the restaurant, and it just turns you into a cranky old man. Kids these days aren't like I used to be.
Trying to see if maybe it's, oh, whoa, thank God I stopped. All right, we're gonna walk this way.
I think, did we just look ahead, Kevin?
Oh, man. Oh, one thing about me, I'm quite a bit arachnophobic. Right?
So yeah, that's also one of the...
Straight ahead. I don't see nothing.
Yeah, all right, do you know which way is out?
I think, yeah, there's the ribbon, so I think if we go this way, it should lead back around.
This is just an example of how easy it is to get lost in a forest, and why I always use an application like All Trails. Fucking sponsor me. And All Trails are Onyx backcountry.
Here, but I think we can, well, all right, let's not.
I think we're lost.
No, we're good. I see the ribbon right there. So that's where we came in.
Let's follow Kevin and see what happens.
All right. Okay, yeah. I see. Yeah, seems like there's the beginning of it.
Yeah, I don't think this is the off trail.
No, I don't think this isn't the one we went to last time, because fuck me.
You want me to lead?
I see an entry right there. Holy shit. All right. Well, hey, here's some great footage. I'm gonna crawl the fuck out of here.
Why don't you just... I got you. Just go ahead.
Okay. All right.
This is just what happens when you film outdoors. Woo. So,
feel free to use that.
So normally I reserve, I ask, hey, so to the people who aren't like super duper outdoorsy, I say something like, are you scared of any animals? But I don't know if I have to ask you that question after what we just
Yeah,
saw.
I don't like spiders.
No, man, listen, I've been doing this like pretty consistently for a good while now, and anytime I get a spider web on me, I still do a little bit of a freak out dance, so don't feel bad.
Yeah.
It's
we were surrounded, dude. That's what happens down here in the summer, is when they come out in places like these.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, like a lot of these parks.
Yeah.
The bigger ones are the females.
Interesting.
Smaller ones are males.
Yeah, you almost ran head first into a golden orb weaver.
No, yeah, and those, I mean, they are poisonous, but to my knowledge, it's like if you get bit by it, it's kind of like a bee sting.
It's if you're not allergic to it, then their venom isn't really gonna do much. And
yeah,
I don't think they really want to fuck with you. People put them on their hands all the time.
Yeah,
some people put them on their face. You almost did just now.
I mean, they're one of those I'd admit that it's like they're not going to bite you unless you're literally like trying to smush it.
I think so, yeah. I think that's what happens with black widows too. I've had one in my shop before that people yelled at me because I took it out instead of killing it. I was like, I don't know, man, it wasn't doing anything wrong. It was just...
No, yeah, they're also known to be pretty docile unless... Oh, in fact, there was one sip, might have been this park we're in right now, but I was with my girl at the time, and there was a tree around that looked climbable, so I went and I tried climb the tree, and then I kind of lost my grip and slipped a little bit, and my back was against it, and I just kind of slid down, and then there was like a black widow like dangling in front of my face.
Oh boy.
And I was like...
Is that what started it all, or you were already afraid of spiders by then?
Oh, no, by then I was already afraid of spiders.
Gotcha. So it didn't like turn you into Batman? That wasn't like your hero arc?
No. I mean, kind of, because I didn't run away from it. I ran towards it and just like did like a fucking, you know, nervous break dance.
Gotcha. Nervous break dance, that's funny. I love that. But yeah, spiders can be a little icky.
Snakes bother me less, which I know sounds irrational, but I have no problem with snakes.
I mean, it's kind of like a visceral reaction. I don't know how much reason you can really put into something like a fear of animals, but do you think it has something to do with like the way that you're more likely to like, at least down here, to accidentally run into a spider web, where like you're not really gonna hit a snake nest by accident, or what?
True, I mean, that could be it, because I know it's like, it is also one of those, I guess, just irrational fears, because I mean, I know one, spider ain't trying to hurt me, I ain't trying to hurt the spider, but they're, you know...
Neither is the snake, honestly.
True. And I mean, granted, I wouldn't want to have a snake in my house, but like if you have a little house spider, you know, they're good. They eat the mosquitoes, they keep the flies away.
Yeah. Embrace the spiders. And
little daddy long legs in your garage, let him have his feast, you know?
Not to mention you already have a lot of daddy long legs in your house. You have spiders in your house, you just don't know about it.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like the whole, like, I don't know if there's just more sharks swimming in the oceans where I grew up swimming, or if drones have just given us a new fear, something to be afraid of, because now anytime you see any kind of like freaking drone footage over the ocean...
Is it always like a Florida one where you see sharks?
Yeah, and you realize like, oh, like shit, like all these people are surrounded by sharks. Why aren't they getting out of the water? Have they been surrounded by sharks this entire time? I mean, maybe, I don't know.
But let me ask you, because, well, you haven't, you came here at a young age, I know that.
I was
like,
10, yeah.
Yeah, but all right, so you've been here for a while. Like, I mean, I've been here my whole life, but like how many times, because I could say for me, none. How many times have you been to the beach and like the lifeguard had to blow the whistle and be like, shark, everybody out the water?
It's been 0. Now, technically, I would go to a non-lifeguard beach.
Okay.
But there was one time that just the people who were there tried to like warn each other, like, hey, get out of the water. There's a big dark figure swimming towards you. And you know, we asked the people who were in the water, like, what did it look like, and they were like, it was definitely a shark. So
I've seen a couple animals in the ocean a few times, just at the beach. Like I've seen stingrays, various fish.
Cool. You ever been pinched by a crab?
Oh yeah. I never got to see, well, at least I think it was a crab, but it was at Deerfield Beach, and I was, you know, in the beach, in the water and everything, and I just felt like an intense like pinch and pressure on my toe. Then I just kicked my foot up and it released, and I never saw what it was, but if I had to guess, probably a crab. Yeah, likely. There was like in my grandpa's beach, which was in Lauderdale, pretty much, I would say on any given day, if you just go maybe 15 feet from shore and just dig your hands into the sand and start messing around with it, massaging it, you're gonna get pinched by a crab. It's just like a little fun, maybe, you know, something you can prank your friends with when you're a kid. But it's that kind of thing. Oh, and something else you said reminded me of this, which is when I moved here, one of the first things I noticed is you got to be really careful climbing trees in South Florida. Because in Colombia, there wasn't really an issue. Like, maybe, at least not where I lived in the city. Like, obviously in the Amazon, you got to be real careful. But did you like climb a tree on like somebody's yard and got... No. It's just all the trees here have ants, they have spiders, they have all kinds of stuff. And so that's, you know, one huge difference. Like I oftentimes when I'm collecting firewood, I get I used to go for these sable palms. If I get one in frame, I'll try to show you. Okay. Where they have those like beginning of the palm fronts that stick out. Like this right here. See those? Oh yeah, and you just kind of shimmy your way up? Yeah, well no, not shimmy your way up. I wouldn't recommend climbing that, but I would try to pull down that branch, and sometimes you would get just a freaking... Have we gone this way? No, let's go out this way.
Yeah, let's go that way.
This is the more open air part you wanted to check out.
Gotcha, yeah. But yeah, sometimes you try to pull one of those and you're bringing like 1,000 ants down with you.
Oh yeah.
And that's just not something that I had to really look out for when I was in Bogota. But luckily I never got a Black Widow experience. But,
yeah.
But yeah, over there we lived in the trees. Another spider? Oh,
sorry, I sneezed.
Is that how you sneeze?
Yeah, that is kind of how I sneeze.
Oh shit, okay. I've known you a long time. I think it was the first time I heard you sneeze. Dude, I thought maybe you found a spider in your shirt and you were like, you know, something like that, because that'll freak anybody out. Fucking Steve Irwin would have a heart attack if that happened to him, you know?
No, yes, I sneeze like a bitch.
Oh, I didn't say that.
No, I said it because I know what I sound.
Well, I don't.
John Hine used to say, his sneeze sounds like a mouse is coming.
Like a mouse is coming? Wow, has he ever made a mouse come? I don't buy that for 1 second.
Hine, no.
Hine is he's the rip and dip type when it comes to mice sex. He doesn't care about the mouse.
Yeah, let's keep straight.
Yeah, let's keep going this way.
Seems like it's pretty cool.
Check it out. Yep, this is a cool little like sandy trail. And it's got a nice field of. One day I will be more savvy with plants and tell you, oh, that's a ferny rhinoceros, huh?
Oh no, I just know that bougainvillea is the name of one of those thorn plants.
Perhaps.
The one that's like a shrub kind of.
Perhaps. I'm.
People put it in their like that's the one you see on people's lawns.
Okay.
Like that they put up for like protection and stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm just happy I know the snakes to watch out for.
Oh yeah.
And I know.
Because here we
that's it. That's all I know.
But the snakes you have to watch out for in Florida, it's like the coral snake, right? Water moccasins.
Yeah.
What's some of the other ones?
You have rattlesnakes. You have eastern diamondbacks. You have pygmy rattlesnakes. I'm sure there are other like subspecies. It's crazy when you find out how many types of rattlesnakes there are alone.
Oh yeah, because it seems like they have one in every climate, you know, because there's the desert ones.
Yeah.
Amazon's got the anacondas.
But Amazon has venomous too, which is which are much more scary. Anacondas apparently don't want to fuck with you at all. That movie was a very unfortunate. It's like, you know how the guy who wrote Jaws was like, he regretted.
Yeah, because it gave people such a negative image of sharks.
Yeah, whoever wrote Anaconda must have been like, you little bitch, I'll show you what it's like to give an animal a bad rap.
But the guy who wrote Piranha is just like, everything I'm writing is true.
I haven't seen Piranha, but I've seen Anaconda, and it's so fucking ridiculous. Mostly in the sense that, like, first of all, that snake ate like 9 people in 2 hours.
Oh, check this out.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, oh shit, this is cool.
Yeah. And not only that, the guy who played the villain, I forget his name, but the actor, it's Angelina Jolie's dad.
Yeah, he was in Holes.
Yeah, he was Paraguayan in the movie.
He was Paraguayan? Oh,
yeah, at one point they're like, where are you from? And he's like, Paraguay.
Oh,
and he kind of did look the part. I mean, he had kind of a Spanish accent. And
yeah.
There are definitely some Paraguayans in like the more German towns that would look like him.
I was gonna say, he looks like a freaking like Texas cowboy to me.
No, he does, but like one of those that, a Texas cowboy with Native American blood.
Okay, there you go.
Or at least that's
with
how
Native American blood, like on his hands, or
on his hands. You know, maybe an uncle.
Oh God, that's awful.
The great grandfather that was killed by the white family for sleeping with the white girl.
Classic.
And they don't talk about him. But
Classic.
If you say Candyman 5 times in a mirror, he appears.
Okay. That was quite the rant. When it comes to animals, neither one of us really know what the fuck we're doing. We just try to teach people to, you know, politely admire them from a distance, but don't go and fuck with them.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, well, actually not speaking of which,
that's a treat.
Yeah, we're gonna take a little break over here, find a place to sit where I'm gonna ask Kevin about his comedy and about his involvement in the movie production and just film production overall. What do you think?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. We'll be right back. All right.
Okay, all right, they were seeing us. All right.
Welcome back to On Trail with Comedians. I'm here with my guest, Kevin Javier. We found a nice little spot to sit.
What up, nature nerds?
So we just did Nature Nerds. Is that the same one you said earlier? Nature Nerds?
No, it was Going Wild with Nature Nico.
Going Wild with Nature Nico. Yeah, it's the alliteration that's gonna make me or break me.
The real nature boy. Woo!
The irony is that I just don't know shit about nature. Although I do know, I'm finally learning this is a cedar.
Oh,
I think.
I thought that was a fern.
Actually, I don't know. Well, I know that the cedar trees grow leaves that are like little ferny like that, almost like a pine. Let's see if it's... I think it's a cedar. You know what? Now I don't know. See, I don't know shit about nature. But I know that we had a fun little hike today.
Yeah, it was cool. We like this place. We've been here second time. This time we stayed dry, though.
Yeah.
On a wet trail last time.
You know, the irony is this is... Like that hike I did with you last time we were here is how the idea for the show finally took its final form.
Right.
Because for years I had talked about it and I wanted to call it Camping with Comedians, which sounds a lot more catchy, but like I can't get guests out every week.
Right. And then
to
you'd
come
have to
fucking camping with me. I can't
exactly, because everybody's got to bring their own equipment.
Yeah, I can't even go camping once a week. So it's like that's not gonna happen. I was hiking with you and we were just having a real nice conversation and I was like, shit, man, I think if we were filming a bunch of this, it might this is the show I've been wanting to do all along. So it turned into just I didn't want to name it Hiking with Comedians because I still wanted to be able to do like camping episodes or other, so I went with On Trail because it encompasses pretty much all of the outdoors.
There we go.
You know, a trail could be downriver and kayaks and stuff like that. So thank you for making the show happen accidentally, Kevin.
Well, we're here now.
Yeah. So, all right, Kevin and I, we met, was it 2012?
Yeah, about 12 years ago at the Catskills, or the now defunct Fort Lauderdale Comedy Club.
Yeah, it was back then. I think we started comedy within like a week or two of each other.
Yeah, I think I was, a couple, maybe like 2 weeks ahead of you. And then, we both started at a place that, it had a pool table that stood on 3 legs and a chair. And had no balls, no cue sticks. It was just a 3-legged pool table that was just there for decoration.
But it was a legit comedy club, though. It had a lobby.
It was, it said comedy club on the sign. That's about as legit as we need.
But, I mean, legit in the sense that it was open just for comedy.
Yeah.
We didn't have a lot of play. You have the improvs, but you didn't go on Thursday night open mic to the improv. You know, you have to sign up.
Yeah, and they never had, they never substituted anything else other than comedy. I mean, maybe if they would have had Lil Ozzy or some midget wrestling in the fort, we might still be going there.
Well, we had the closest thing to midget wrestling I can think of was rest in peace Angel Salazar, but he had a closer where he kind of like got down to his underwear and hopped on a stool and like did a whole show thing, and he was a short guy, but I don't know if he was quite considered midget status, which by the way, we use those terms very correctly here. I'm not referring to dwarves. We're not dicks like that.
We listen, we don't judge.
We are better than everybody else.
No, he listens, I judge.
No, I judge too. But I think there was a few times that we had like comedy and like rock and comedy. Remember Damien started that?
Oh yeah, the metal comedy. I have, it's funny enough, I have that flyer in my wall because that's like the first flyer my face was ever on.
I think that was one of those too, yeah. But yeah, other than that, it was a legit comedy club in the sense that there was a lobby, separated only by
They
curtain.
sold tickets.
Yeah, they sold tickets, and then they had, a proper stage with tables. And they had a proper green room and stuff like that. The pool table was in like a completely separate room.
That we never, we only went in there occasionally. It was only, I want to say 1 or 2 times where it was packed enough where it was like, all right, we couldn't hang in the green room.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember like when I first started showing up, I wasn't allowed in the green room yet, but then I showed up there for like a month, and then they're like, oh yeah, come back here.
Who told you weren't allowed in the green room?
Kevin Perry, if he didn't know you like for real, he wouldn't let you in.
When he was hosting?
Yeah, when he was hosting.
Okay.
And I mean, it wasn't really that big of a deal. It's just, you just walk in and like, there's like 3 people rolling blunts on all the counters.
Yeah, it was a pretty classic green room. It wasn't anything too crazy, but I don't know. I do like the way that I do think it's cool that we started at a. I'm gonna sit down here. I have no butt cheeks, and this is kind of tilted. So
yeah, we started at the most rinky-dink of rinky-dink clubs.
Yeah, but it was a club nonetheless, man. It had it even had like pictures of local headliners everywhere and stuff like that. I remember seeing a bare web with a hand drill, and they had RJ Walker and stuff like that, and a couple of other big headliners. The first like, you could even say big name comic I saw over there, which I think I'm really glad that was my first impression of like what a real comedy show should be, was Eric Myers.
Oh yeah.
Cause he
was a killer.
He didn't get giggles, that guy. That guy was
every time with the same shit. Every time. Like he would. There are certain comics that, like, I mean, he was so good he was feared, in the sense that nobody wanted to follow him.
Oh God, imagine following Eric.
Nobody wanted to follow him for the same reason that nobody wanted to have Slipknot open for them.
What?
When they first came out, because
because they would steal the show.
Yeah, like they were on tour with, I think it was Seven Dust when their first album came out.
Okay.
And they were opening for Seven Dust, but when you got 9 guys with masks and jumpsuits making the whole crowd go ape shit, that crowd is so tired when they get off stage that Metallica could come on and everyone would just be like, yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna sit down now.
Yeah, I know, right?
And halfway through the tour, which Seven Dust was supposed to headline, they were just, like, after the 2nd or 3rd night of the tour, they were like, nah guys, we're going on first.
Yeah. They really did have 9, or they still do, I guess, 9 fucking people.
Exactly.
In scary ass masks, and it's like a
circus. I've seen them live once, and great show, but yeah,
but they're scary, and it's like Rob Zombie ska. You know?
Rob Zombie ska.
Basically.
Essentially. But yeah, and they keep the masks and jumpsuits on the entire time, which I thought was crazy considering it was an outdoor arena in Florida in July.
Holy shit, yeah. And that must have been rough.
Then you got pyro on stage too, so underneath it, they're just like sweating.
Yeah, they must have been. I don't know if you ever seen footage of like Guar post-show, but they take off their boots and it's just a waterfall. They're like the stinkiest part. The stinkiest part of a Guar show is the end of it, which I think you personally experienced with Teresa's.
Oh yeah.
You got to smell you got to really take in. Was that you or no?
Well, I was at Teresa's, but I don't think Guar was on that show.
No, that you got to sort of get close enough to smell them. To Teresa's, or maybe.
I was close up stage on that one. You and RJ were kind of just chilling in the back by the bar. I was like all over the place for that show.
Maybe it was somebody else who told me that. It might have been Damien, because he
was close enough to smell them.
Yeah, that it was like the stinkiest band he's ever seen. Teresa's, if you don't know, is a Celtic metal band, or not really Celtic, but
Viking, I guess you can call it. They got fiddles and accordions, and they do a great cover of Bonnie M's Rasputin.
Oh my God, they do! I forgot about that. Yeah,
that's probably the best song they have.
Yeah, but they wear, like, I guess, real leather armor.
Yeah,
and
paint their face.
Yeah, but the leather armor is real enough that it'll, I don't think it's very moisture wicking. I think it's mostly just fucking made out of pig. But anyway, to get back to the comedy thing, so was that your first open mic too, or no?
No, my first open mic was
where we met.
Yeah, my first open mic was at the Funky Buddha.
Funky Buddha, okay.
Back when, I was still at the Boca location.
Okay, and at the time that you did it, they didn't have the bucket system, right?
No, straight sign up.
Regular sign up sheet?
Mm-hmm.
That list would go deep though, huh?
Oh, dude, yeah, my first time there, here's a funny story actually about my first open mic I ever did. So I went there, and online they posted it as sign up was at 7:30, but if you didn't get there at 6, you were dead last.
It makes sense, yeah.
So you had to like really get there early. And I think I got there at 7:30, and I was number 23 out of 35 on the list.
Wow.
And I wasn't even sure if I was going to even go on stage. I was just, there to watch, see what happened. And then some guy who went up, who I've never seen since, he was number 7th on the list, and gets up, and his entire set is and as you'd imagine, it was crickets. You could hear a pin drop to the point where the dude's like running his hair through his fingers, staring at the floor the entire time he's telling his jokes.
Oh boy.
And Richie Lala was hosting at the time, so he of course lights him early. The guy gets off stage and Richie goes, "Oh, clap it up for that guy for the most depressing set ever." And I had never done stand-up before.
Kevin, you're gonna have to teach me how to use the bleep button on the editing software.
Oh, easily, yeah, we could do that.
But anyway, sorry, go ahead.
But then after that guy got off, having never done stand-up before, I was just like...
Good choice of words after a bunch of jokes, but anyway.
Hey!
But anyway, sorry.
But after he gets off stage, I was like, no matter how bad I bomb tonight, I won't be as bad as that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And that guy sucking as bad as he did inspired me to go on stage.
Yeah,
like
there you go. Okay.
That's when I knew I'm getting up tonight.
So low bars would inspire you.
Yes, exactly.
So you got into film by watching The Room or something? Or?
Yeah, exactly. No. I saw Street Fighter as a kid, and that was the movie that did it. I was like, I want to make motion pictures like this.
That's cool. Well, I'm going to get back to the film in a little bit, but I want to ask you more about the comedy. So you started at the Funky Buddha after following... Not Eric Myers, from what I'm getting. I guess, I don't know if maybe that was a good thing that he was so bad, because now you get to bomb, but even if you do bomb, you don't have material so disgusting. And
exactly, I'm not gonna have everyone giving me dirty looks once I get off stage.
Exactly. Like if you bomb on jokes about the heavy metal jokes or something like that, someone's in the parking lot, they're not gonna look at you like there's the heavy metal piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But the guy who's talking about the other stuff, it's like, yeah, maybe don't.
Oh, the guy who talks about the other stuff, they're gonna have at least 2 or 3 people in the parking lot going like, "Hey, aren't you that guy? Don't do that again."
I know, right? The first time I ever went up at Funky Buddha, I bombed real hard. Not with those kinds of jokes, but the host, who I won't name, as soon as I got off stage, he goes, "Nico, don't do comedy." Yeah, well, that was rough. But so your first set went kind of well, or pretty well, or?
I don't remember it being too well. I mean, I remember I had some giggles here and there, some laughs. I mean, I remember the second time I didn't kill, but I did well enough that I got more laughs the second time.
Gotcha.
But then it was months and months of bombing before I finally found out what was funny about me, I guess you could say, or also just learning how to write a joke.
Yeah,
because I mean, you can read as much as you want about it or anything, but once you're on stage and realize the structure, it takes that in order to get good at comedy,
Yeah, and I mean, I think a lot of the classes that are offered are very productive, but I've also seen people who have taken classes who come out and it's like, did you blow the teacher or something like that? Because it doesn't seem like you listen to anything that all the other students got, like those.
Right.
And again, they can't teach you how to be funny, but they can teach you how to structure a joke. They can't teach you how to pause for laughter, which I still haven't learned. But
there's even I took a class once with Dean Napolitano, and he's a great teacher, but what I liked about him was he helped you find your own voice, but if there was something he didn't like or he felt took away from the performance, he told you immediately. And there were certain people in the class that would come back. They would do, because it was basically you go up, you do 5 minutes, and he kind of gives you little pointers.
Okay.
But they would come back the next week doing the same exact jokes, and he would just go, "You did these jokes last week, and I told you everything you need to know about them. All right, why are we telling them again? And you said the same joke without changing a single fucking thing. Yeah. What's the point of that?"
And did anybody have a response that was?
No, it was just basically he would just tell them, "Hey, come back with some new shit next week."
Yeah.
And sometimes they would, sometimes they won't. It's kind of.
Yeah. No, I only ask if somebody had a good response to it, because obviously there's no real rules in comedy, just because Dean's a fantastic comedian, but just because he said it not to do it doesn't mean it's not going to be funny. Maybe one of those students breaking the rules is going to be the groundbreaker.
Oh yeah, you definitely have those people that will do that.
Have any of them broken ground?
Well, no.
You heard it here, guys. Kevin, Javier, to shit on your dreams. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I I understand what you mean, and like the classes have good pointers and stuff like that, but in the end, it's almost like I
don't think there's anything you could learn from a comedy class that you wouldn't learn coming into the scene and just going on stage, recording your set and looking back and listen to what gets laughs, keep it. If it don't get laughs, to the garbage.
Yeah, I think that's also true.
Or rework it.
Yeah, I like to say put it aside, don't throw it away, because there's been shit that like from my first year ideas that like I brought back 10 years later, and I was like, holy shit, like it took me
you look at it with a fresh pair of eyes.
Exactly, to figure out how to finally make this funny. But I've known you for 12 years, because we met when we started doing comedy. And I think at some point you like started changing your writing style a little bit, or at least the approach that you took toward writing a joke. You were telling me about like 5 tenets of comedy or something like that? Oh
yeah, I just like kind of just was reading up online and stuff, and like that was the whole thing. Jerry Corley does a very good. I don't want to take away from him, because he's got plenty of videos, you know, that really break things down to a really kind of T. But no, also when I used to be a substitute teacher for about 5 years, and when I started doing that was when it kind of gave me something to talk about, you know?
Okay.
I had like something that I had a unique perspective on, because, I don't know, one thing that kind of always, because I'm also, ladies and gentlemen, huge fan of professional wrestling.
You?
Me? I know, right?
No, this you only send me like 10,000 memes a day. But
it's all wrestling memes, yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, one of the terrible human being, great wrestler by the name of New Jack, he said that when he started in the business, somebody told him, if you want to like get over, or as they just get famous, or you know, get known,
so to say, be noticed.
If you want to be noticed, you got to be something that no one's ever seen before. And that was the one thing. It's like no one else could have that unique perspective on teaching that I had from that first person.
Yeah.
So I think that's what kind of helped me write more and just kind of come into my own, you know?
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, because sitting there and just being like, all right, I have a show coming up next week. What's funny? To me, that's fucking impossible. Like writing like that.
Yeah.
So it's good to have some sort of source that sort of naturally gives you shit. Because obviously everybody lives life, and you're gonna get shit, but it's not as easy as like, you know, everybody likes to come up to us, you should come to my job, you'll get so much material.
Oh, if I had a dime for every time somebody said that shit,
I would have better microphones. Yeah, it's like, and it's not that we can't get any material out of your jobs, but like I had a lawyer friend say that to me one time, and then I went to one of his trials. It was the most depressing shit in the world. It was drug court, and this poor girl like relapsed, right? And I'm not, you know, I have sympathy for addicts, obviously, to some degree you have to put your foot down, but like, you know, this girl relapsed, and she was trying to be honest with the judge, and I guess the judge needed to make an example out of her or something, and she got cuffed up right there in front of everybody, and who's gonna take care of my cats? Oh my God, I can't do this. And I'm looking at my lawyer like, is this the funny thing? Is this the hilarious thing that you want me to put in my little skits? Are you fucking kidding me?
You guys do drugs? You guys like cats? You like getting your cats taken away because of drugs?
Your Honor, who's fucking?
Who's fucking me? Yeah. I'm the one with the child support. I'm paying it out.
Who's fucking? Who's fucked? You are. Bye. Oh, God.
He goes with you.
I can't even just like saying that hypothetically, and I changed up the story a little bit because this really, you know, happened to a real person. But like, you know, even just saying that hypothetically and talking about, you know, tweaking the story, I'm like, I can't, like, I laugh at this because it's so freaking crazy to me. Mm-hmm. But when I look back at it, I feel awful. I feel terrible for that person. So it's like, yeah, I'm sure we can get a lot of material from your jobs, but sometimes it's better that we get it from our own jobs.
Yeah, or from our own cynical sensibilities.
Yeah. Our own experiences and stuff like that.
Yeah, instead of like one of your friends going like, "Oh, you need some material. Want to come to court and watch some lady get her kids taken away?"
God, it was so. It's like, hey man, maybe you should go to therapy. You'll get so much material.
Right.
Oh, goodness.
It's just like I heard, I mean, it was one of those internet things, so I don't know how true it is, but the guy who played Two-Face in Dark Knight, Aaron Eckhart, the guy from Thank You for Smoking.
Yeah, I almost called him Harvey Dent.
Yeah, but apparently the actor of that, I read a story that he was in between roles or something and trying to like keep up his acting chops or something. So his his agent saw him go to a support group for people who like had a child that passed away.
Okay.
And he went in and was like mourning with these people and had a whole story and was like trying to pass as one of them. And then like comes out of that meeting like, you know, looks at his agent like, I still got it. And the agent's like, you are a sociopath, sir.
Wow. I did not, that was not the turn I thought the story was going to take.
But he basically went in there and tried to see how good his acting was to see if he could blend in with that support group.
Holy shit.
Which that's some crazy shit.
That could be its own Batman villain right there.
Right, exactly.
Holy shit, so.
False hope.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess, like, I don't know, it's weird when people come up to us and go, like, so where do you get your jokes from? It's like, well, you know, like you can't say strictly from substitute teaching, but like that's one of the sources. There's no direct answer to it, but I guess in your case, you know, starting to teach was something that gave you like you said, a different perspective on life, and you were able to write a lot more.
Yeah, well, it gave me like something to talk about and just like its own unique, and it was not necessarily that it was easy. I mean, you can come up with material about anything, but when I was working at the school, there was always something happening.
Yeah.
Kid would say something stupid, teacher would do something stupid. I'd hear other teachers talking about the staff or complaining about some sort of thing, whether it be like the political side of just the politics of teaching and how education is, or just
dickhead dressed up as a crocodile. It was just
or the politics of just like the school itself, you know, like no one wants to, because there's a lot of shit that gets swept under the rug in schools.
Oh yeah, it's drama. My mom works at a school. You hear it every now and then, who likes whom, teachers who don't like other teachers, students and teachers who don't like certain students or certain other teachers. So why don't you tell us a little bit about you working in the film industry and stuff like that?
All right, yeah. Went to Full Sail, graduated in 2010, got out, and worked on a number of different shows as a camera assistant and production assistant. Some of the more notable ones were America's Got Talent, X Factor, did some music videos for Ray J, Lil Wayne, worked with Omarion once or twice.
You helped Ray J make a video?
Yes, well, not that kind of video.
Not that one? Okay, gotcha.
No, I helped him make a music video.
I wouldn't shame either. I wouldn't shame that, even though you're into it. I wouldn't shame you for it. But, so
I wouldn't want to, and honestly, I had offers of people saying, you know, offering me jobs, you know, hey, yeah, come shoot this porno, blah, 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 blah. But I had some friends that did work on porno sets, and the horror stories they had were just, and I couldn't do that because, like, if I'm holding a camera on a shoot like that, I don't give a fuck how much you're paying me or whatever. If a guy comes on me, I am whacking you over the head with that camera.
Yeah, that's very unprofessional on your part. On the guy's part, maybe too professional.
No, that's unprofessional on him. You get paid to nut on her face, not mine.
Hey man, but sometimes, you know, maybe it's been
Get off my lens, you know?
He got off on your lens.
Yeah, don't get off my lens, not off on the lens.
So do people who participate in like behind the scenes in porno, they have to bring their own cameras?
It depends, but yeah, because what it is you'll have people that are just they're camera operators, so they have their own gear.
Oh boy.
In fact, if you have your own gear, you get more gigs.
Gotcha.
So yeah, a lot of those people, it's not surprising that a lot of those camera operators, they're coming with their own gear, and you can't get
not the only ones.
You can't get your DNA on it. A little sweat, sure, but you can't get no nut on that.
Man, I feel like wiping off a lens wouldn't be so bad, but imagine they get it on like one of these what are they called, dead rabbits, dead cats?
Well, they don't wear lavs in porn.
They don't wear lavs in porn. Some of them look like they do. They wear it right on their junk. It's just a little strip right here. Thought that was a lavalier mic. It's not? See, Kevin's teaching me all about film.
I cannot recall ever seeing a lavalier mic in a porn.
Well, I'm talking about the little fuzzy part.
Well, you'll see like a boom. Yeah, they'll have a boom.
I was talking about like the shape. Like,
yeah.
Sorry, we teach each other things
there we
over
go.
here.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah, the boom mic is just hidden in like a bush.
Oh God, that would be weird though. Like, can you imagine if like the boom?
Maybe
mic
that's why you hear all the.
What if the boom mic accidentally gets into the shot and she thinks it's another dick and tries to suck it?
I wouldn't be surprised if that's happened before. You ain't. When
they're coming at you from all angles, you don't know what to do.
If you ever want to feel remorse in your life, just look up porn bloopers. That'll make you feel so remorseful in your life.
Yeah, I don't know. That'll make me feel a little less bad about me stuttering in my intro. I wasn't able to cut that out. Oh God, I can't imagine porn bloopers. It sounds like there would be injuries involved.
Well, here was I don't want to tell this story. It might be too gross for a nature show.
If you're not comfortable telling it, that's fine. No, there is a warning at this that this is that this is a kind of grown-up comedy, dirty. There's going to be dirty words and dirty sentences and stuff like that.
Well, let's just say that, yeah. And the thing too, it's about like shooting porn is that like it looks good when it's on camera, but once you're there, it's like, ugh, there's like STDs on every counter you touch.
Oh boy.
And also you're filming people. It's like that they film one scene, another couple comes in and everything. So just imagine like the smell of 8 hours of fucking.
Yeah, that's exercise right there.
Ugh.
It's like worse than filming in a gym. Sometimes you probably do film in a gym.
But I'll go ahead and tell this story anyway. Maybe it'll make some juicy footage. But I knew a guy who had to film a girl-guy anal scene.
Okay.
The girl was getting fucked in the ass by the dude. It wasn't like a pegging scene. Let's clarify that.
Take notes, everybody.
But I guess after they were done, they had a paint bucket full of water because they were filming in a place that had no bathroom. It was just like a room with like a mattress in the middle of it that they rented out. And
so that was their toilet?
She just sit there and just, in front of the whole crew and everything. And then she's just, afterwards, just back in the, I don't know if she was back filming, but just to her, it was a Tuesday. My friend that was the cameraman was looking at there like, just mortified,
Well, normally this would be the part where I offer a guest a little backcountry snack, but I don't think you want a snack or anything related to backcountry right now.
I'll take a snack.
Yeah, you want a little backcountry snack? So today I brought Kind bars, and
I love those.
There's a little peanut in this one. You sure you're gonna be okay?
Yeah, it's fine. Actually, I like these. I've had these before. Yeah.
All right.
This is my favorite flavor of them.
All right, cool. Yeah, I like to bring it back up to wholesomeness for just like 2 seconds. I like to bring different kinds of food on trail to have give to one of my guests, and sometimes I like to cook. And I've also I've done a pub sub here. It's supposed to be educational, not just about shitting in buckets after butt sex, but educational in the sense informative, let's call it, in the sense of things you could cook in the backcountry, things you can bring. And so we've done pub sub, right? Because that's also something that could be very useful for a hiking or a backpacking trip. And today, since this was kind of an impromptu episode, I decided to just go to a Sunoco and pick up a couple of little snackies, just to show the practicality of some of the things you can do when you're going backpacking or hiking or camping, any of that. Having a little snack, especially with peanuts and stuff that would usually be in a turd, it can be real good for conserving your energy and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Now, I'm going to ask you this, because I know you do a lot of the dried fruits and trail mix and stuff when you're out on your trails. Are there certain foods that you prefer to eat or that are considered staples just because of, I guess, the nutritional facts, protein, hydration, things like that? Because that's what you're trying to keep in mind when you're out there, right, for days?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, I don't do a lot of cold weather hiking or camping, obviously, because I live in Florida, so we don't have the opportunity. But they say, is it calorie or carb overload? You want to do a lot more than you usually would.
Okay.
Not only because you're walking it off, but in cold weather because it keeps you warmer at night.
Like a bear who's hibernating.
I suppose so, yeah. So stuff like that, but I don't know, typically it's just stuff that's not gonna go bad very quickly. Sometimes we'll do steak, but on we'll eat it on the first night. And then the second, or I haven't gone on, the second or third we'll have a dehydrated meal.
Okay.
But I haven't gone on anything too long. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this episode up. Thank you guys for joining me. You can find Kevin on, you have Instagram, YouTube, anything you want to promote?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram and on YouTube at Javier Comedy, that's with a J, Javier. Some people have thought it was spelled Havier.
There you go.
But no, so at Javier Comedy, that's where you can find me on Instagram and on YouTube.
All right, and the episode won't be out for a little while, so I won't tell you to promote any shows that are coming out soon, but you can also see Kevin do stand-up all over South Florida, and if they follow you on your Instagram, they can see where you're going to do shows, right?
100%.
Perfect. All right, well, thank you for joining me, and thank you for talking about buttholesome stuff.
Butthole-some stuff.
Sometimes I open with a terrible pun, sometimes I close with a terrible pun. Today we are going to gape with a terrible pun. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you had as much fun as I did. If you want to help the channel grow, you can subscribe or like, or hit the notification bell, or leave a comment down below. I'll try my best to answer, so long as you're swinging above the belt. If you really want to help, you want to help me feed my guests and pay my bills, I will put links to my Venmo and Cashapp and Patreon down below. If you like my guests, I will also put tags to their social media in the description. Always remember that here at OTC, we encourage our viewers to respectfully and responsibly enjoy the outdoors, know your local ordinances, abide by leave no trace principles, learn something cool, and I'll see you on the next hike.